So here we are talking about 10 forgotten gems that are perfect for the wintertime. We all know when new releases come out, they get the hype, they get the attention. But, you know, I just mentioned to you guys not too long ago in a very recent video that I'd like you guys to go out there and discover. And I am one that likes to go out and discover as well. And when I discover great things, I like to bring forth the fragrances that I discover right to you, right? So that's what we are talking about today. These are some of the fragrances here are fragrances that I discovered recently. Others I've had in my collection for quite some time. One fragrance in particular I've had for 4 or 5 years now. But these are 10 great fragrances that I'm happy to share with you all and get you out there discovering and sampling and testing. And for those of you that have tried what I'm about to speak of, I can't wait to hear your thoughts too. Stay tuned. Video comes up next. Before we dive into 10 forgotten gems that are perfect for wintertime, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel. If you're into grooming and fragrance content, well, you're going to love it around here. Do consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the like button on the video. That's going to strengthen my algorithm, allowing me to get out in front of more faces. Comment down below, as I was saying in the intro, if you've tried any of these or if you're excited to try them now that you've heard my takes. Maybe you get excited about trying these fragrances. Maybe you have them in your collection. They've been collecting dust. Whatever the case is, comment down below. I'd like to also hear from you guys some hidden gems within your collection or forgotten gems in your collection that you would like to see, you know, get talked about more often around here on YouTube, right? Don't forget to turn all notification bells on and be a real one. Share this video out with anybody that could find me entertaining and my knowledge useful. With that said and out of the way, let's get it. I've divided this list into 2 categories, so I'm going to speak about 5 designer fragrances first, and then we'll finish the list out with 5 niche fragrances. So first up on the designer side of things comes from Tom Ford, and this is Beau de Jour. Beau de Jour is going to be a classic fougere style of fragrance. This, you can expect to get an overdose of lavender. Guys, if you're fans of lavender in general, you need to try this. But you're going to have aromatic, spicy components too. There is some basil in here, some clary sage. There is a bit of mint here. So you can see it's a pretty green fragrance along with the lavender that comes across soapy, has a bit of this barbershop characteristic or feel to it, if you will. You're also going to be met with oak moss and lots of patchouli. This is a very gentlemanly fragrance. It works well with what I'm wearing today. It dresses down just as well also, but it really begs for dress attire. Dress attire, I feel, fits the scent perfectly. Honestly, you could wear this or any of these fragrances whenever you want because of the concentration being so thick and heavy. I should say the way that it wears on skin, rather, not so much the concentration, but the way that it wears on skin is pretty heavy, thick, and dense. And that's why I'm showcasing it here. Plus, I love this. It's great with a sweater or a suit. It's just a magnificent scent overall, and one that I admire. When I finally do my my top 10, you know, fougere fragrances, this will definitely be on the list. I absolutely love this. You can see the massive dent here. I wear a lot of this stuff. It's just a great fragrance that performs very well also. I get all day wear with this, no problem at all. Projects great, long lasting, it's intense, it's beefy, it's potent. I absolutely adore this one, guys. From Tom Ford, Beau de Jour. The next fragrance I'll be discussing again on the designer side is going to come from Dior. This is Dior Fahrenheit Les Parfums. So with this one here, they've kept the Fahrenheit DNA present. You could definitely smell it. It is totally detectable. There is the violet leaf here. However, they've muted it. And what they've done is they've made it a bit more modern with the way the warm spices are utilized here. I get a bit of like a cinnamon-like feel here. You have vanilla present for sure, some amber, some rum, leather. So it's boozy, it's leathery, it's sexy, seductive, sensual. Oh, this is a great scent, guys. You definitely have to get your nose on this. It is a bit earthy too. There's like a patchouli-like kind of woodiness to the scent as well when it dries down. Overall, this stuff is fantastic. People know about this scent. It is talked about. It's just not talked about enough, and it deserves more attention, which is why I wanted to bring light to it. I wanted to feature it here in today's video. It's fantastic. It lasts all day. It's quieter than something like Beau de Jour is. It doesn't project as well as that fragrance does, but still, it lasts all day. It gets you enough projection to where you're going to get noticed. And if you guys love like kind of boozy, you know, warm, sweet scents with a bit of an edge with the leather, then you are definitely going to appreciate this one. Get your nose on it. Even though, it's modernized compared to the original Dior Fahrenheit, it's still not going to be as sickly sweet as some of the newer designer releases that come out nowadays. So you definitely want to sample this one when you have the opportunity to, and then, come back and let me know what you think. For me, it's great. It deserves far more hype and attention than it gets. I love this stuff, guys. Check this one out. Get your nose on this, and yeah, this is Dior Fahrenheit Les Parfums. Next up from the designers, we have Orchid Leather by Van Cleef and Arpels. Guys, if you are a fan of leather and a fan of fruity leathers, you definitely want to get your nose on this one. I would say, it falls into the same category as like Ombre Leather, the Eau de Parfum Ombre Leather from Tom Ford. But this one definitely does its own thing. Now, they credit this orchid vine, fantasy note as having a bit of the fruitiness. It sort of reminds me of like black currant with plum is kind of what that note that accord reminds me of. You're also going to get a bit of vanilla here as well, and of course you have the leather. So it's a fruity, sweet, creamy vanilla with leather. This stuff is absolutely stunning. Not many people talk about this. It's readily available on discounters, and it's one that lasts all day. It's not a screamer off skin, but it gets the job done, about 6-7 hours type of fragrance. This is actually a very sophisticated take on leather, even though you have the fruity sweet nuances with the leather and that kind of black currant / plum thing that I get from the fruity accords that they're playing with here. Some spices too as well, I forgot to mention. But overall, a great scent, guys. If you love leathers, you're looking for something a little bit more on the bold side, unique, even though it's a fruity leather, and fruity leathers, are pretty common and popular out there, especially in the designer world of things. This one does its own thing and does it extremely well, guys. Definitely check this one out when you have the opportunity to, from Van Cleef and Arpels. This one is Orchid Leather. Now going to the house of Guerlain, this is Heritage. This is the Eau de Toilette. You can now find this in Eau de Parfum concentration. I have tried that. The smell is pretty much the same. You don't have to go crazy and try to find these Listerine style bottles or anything like that. They did a good job keeping the scent, the overall scent profile here pretty much intact. Yes, there's citrus when you first spray this on, but don't worry, that lasts for like 2 minutes, so you're not really going to detect that really much after the opening there. This one to me is a woody, spicy musk fragrance. It's like 85% Chypre, about 15% Fougère. The reason why I say that is because you have the components of a traditional Chypre. So you have the bergamot here. You definitely have the oak moss present. You have the patchouli here for sure. I also get a bit of lavender here. They credit rose. I don't detect rose, but I get an overdose of patchouli. Maybe a little bit of sandalwood or cedarwood. There's something woody and creamy about the scent as well. So maybe the utilization of vanilla is also present. It's been a minute since I took a look at the note breakdown for this one, but I absolutely love this. This is one of my all-time favorite fragrances. Like I said, guys, you have that barbershop quality to it. Lavender, I'm assuming, is utilized here because I could definitely pick up on the presence of lavender. This stuff is absolutely stunning. A real classic, gentleman style of fragrance here. One that accents the winter weather perfectly. This is going to be great whether you're dressed in a sweater, maybe throw on a pea coat over top of it if it's brutally cold outside. Tweed jacket. Think of things like that. That is where I would how I would kind of style Heritage or pair it up with my outfit of the day. I absolutely love this stuff. You definitely need to get your nose on this. Sample it, try it. This is, like I said, one of the best smells of all time. One of my absolute favorites. A gem of a fragrance, guys, from Guerlain. This is Heritage. The last fragrance from the designer side is going to go to Hermes, and this is a Jean-Claude Ellena creation that was launched back in 2012. This is Hermes with Voyage Parfum. I love this stuff. I need to go ahead and actually spray this one because it's been a minute since I've smelled this one, and I just love it. This is a woody, it's a woody, spicy fragrance with aromatic touches. This stuff is just phenomenal. Bit of juniper berry in here, some cardamom along with tea, maybe a little bit of spices here, along with some sandalwood and amber. A beautiful, warm, cozy scent. Reminds me of like humidity in the springtime, because you could smell the greenery in this fragrance as you could smell the greenery in the springtime. There is a humidity about this scent. I think it's the cardamom musk that's doing that to the scent. This stuff is stunning. Stunning creation. I cannot believe that nobody talks about this stuff. I don't understand it. This is well worth the money that you will find it at discounters. This is a well-built, extremely well put together fragrance with Hermes. If you guys know anything about Hermes fragrances, to me, they use some of the best quality materials for in the designer realm. They do pay very close attention to the utilization of their materials and their ingredients to create these wonderful fragrances, and this is no exception. This to me is just it's remarkable. It's a remarkable scent that accents the cold weather perfectly. This is going to be like a Swiss Army knife of sorts, because this will dress down just as well as it will dress up. Whether you're in a t-shirt and sweatpants, or you are in a suit like I'm wearing today, you will always feel in place. Like, okay, this makes sense to wear this fragrance with this type of outfit. You will never feel out of place, like maybe I should have wore something different or I should have gone with a different outfit. I hope that makes sense there. But this one, extremely versatile for the cold weather. This works great all year long because it's not a screamer off of the skin, sits relatively close. It does stick to the skin pretty well, but there is an airiness to the scent, so it doesn't become overly dense or cloying in the high heat. It could be easily worn as a signature scent. As long as you appreciate woody, spicy, musky fragrances, you will definitely love this, guys. Pretty unique bottle style too. Just a great fragrance overall that I absolutely love, and that's Voyage from Hermes. This is the Parfum. Now we'll move on to 5 niche fragrances that are underrated. They are also forgotten, right? That's the whole theme behind the video. Well, kicking things off on the niche side is going to be Sartorial from Penhaligon's, another one of my all-time favorite fougères. This is very unique for what it is, because at the end of the day, this is an aromatic fougère, yes, but it has these twists and turns to it, unlike any other aromatic fougère, because you have these metallic nuances here. You have a bit of beeswax, but you also are going to have aromatic spices and lavender. And the scent is supposed to kind of replicate or give you the idea of being in a tailor shop where they have they're pressing clothes. So you have that iron press, which is the metallic note or accord influence here within the fragrance. But then the interesting thing is when the fragrance opens up, begins to blossom, you get that lavender quality, very reminiscent to like a barbershop. This is just phenomenal. One of the best smelling fougères that I've ever put my nose to, guys. This stuff is it's just an incredible scent. And what blows me away is it has a high compliment factor. Now, with that said, I do want to let you know that this is a bit more classy. Classic. There's classic touches here. This isn't going to be, if you are one that only appreciates modern perfumery, you need to be careful with this one. Get yourself a decant. Live with it for a little while. Try it out. Explore. Adventure. And maybe you fall in love with this one. I absolutely adore this perfume. One of my very favorite fougères, which is why it's on this list. And another one that just nobody ever talks about. And, it's kind of one of those situations where I don't quite understand why nobody talks about this scent, but hey, it is what it is, and that's what I'm here for, baby. To talk about things not everyone else is talking about. If you are a fan of fougères, you haven't yet tried this, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You need to get your nose on this, guys. From Penhaligon's, this is Sartorial. Let's talk about something a little bit more modern, all right? Pegasus by Parfum de Marly. Admittedly, something I forgot about. I recently wore this just a few days ago, and I forgot how much I absolutely enjoy this one. I really enjoy it. So there's a bit of a metallic nuance here. There's also this essence to it that gives you like this cold winter air impression, like bitter, brutal, cold air, right? But you also have the heliotrope here, which creates a bit of this powdery almond effect. You also have tonka beans, you have vanilla, so there's gourmand facets to the scent. And mainly that's what it is. It's a vanillic almond sort of thing with, like I mentioned, the heliotrope, the vanilla. It's also sharp and metallic, so you have to appreciate sharp fragrances that have a bit of a metallic nuance to them. Creamy, sweet, gourmand-esque with that nuttiness from the heliotrope, creating that almond feel. A beautiful scent. Powerful. This stuff is potent. It's beastly. I only go 2 sprays with this stuff because otherwise it gets a bit annoying on my skin because it's so like intrusive. You know, you could just, it's almost like piercing if you spray too much of this on my skin. It just gets to be a little bit overwhelming, which I think is why I shied away from this fragrance over the past couple of years, but recently wore this, as I said, and just kind of like sparked my interest back into the fragrance, you know? And it was a nice, pleasurable wearing experience, one that lasted me all day. But again, because I toned back on the sprays, I think is what made me enjoy this and thought to myself, you know what? I really need to reach for this one more often. And nowadays, when it comes to the House of Parfum de Marly, you mainly only hear, well, from the men's side of things, you only hear about Leighton and Herod on a consistent basis. And we kind of forget about the gem that is Pegasus. This is going to be for a specific audience. I don't think everybody's going to enjoy this one. You definitely have to go sample it, try it. I would not recommend a blind buy on this one, but definitely try it, check it out, especially if you enjoy gourmand-esque fragrances. Get your nose on this one, check it out. Perhaps you would enjoy it and then commit to a full bottle. But yeah, I wouldn't blind buy this one. A good one nevertheless, though. From Parfum de Marly, this again is Pegasus. Now moving on to the house of Marc-Antoine Barrois, and no, this is not Ganymede here. This is B683. So this is either a 2016 or 2017 launch. It depends which website you're looking for your information there. But before Ganymede came out, B683 was the one. And in here, when the fragrance fully dries down, you will get nuances of that mineralic, leathery thing that happens in Ganymede. You could definitely smell that here. Not as prominent as it is in Ganymede, but it's definitely still here. I detect it for sure. But this one emphasizes more so on spices and woods. You have to be a fan of spices to appreciate this fragrance because it is a very spicy, woody fragrance. So in this one here, you have spices like black pepper, chili pepper, some nutmeg. You have a bit of oak moss and patchouli that creates this earthiness to the scent. Once the scent fully dries down, you have santal wood. You have ambroxan here. The ambroxan doesn't come across too ambery, too woody. It's just there, I think, to give the fragrance a little bit of lift, a bit of push. And we cannot forget to mention the saffron, which is utilized here, giving it this leathery feel. So this is very much a spicy, woody scent, leathery as well. Very sophisticated, chic, elegant sort of the way that I would classify this scent. A great, great composition. Quinton Biche nailed it with this one. I absolutely love this stuff. You don't need many sprays with this. This is the Eau de Parfum right here, 30 milliliter bottle. You don't need many sprays. 4 to 6 sprays to get the job done. It's plenty. This is definitely going to be work safe. You could even honestly wear this every day if you wanted to. It's not some obnoxious, overwhelming sort of fragrance. So I really think you could get away with this even in summertime, where even though you would think a very spicy, woody, leathery scent wouldn't work well in the summertime, it actually does great things on my skin in the heat. But I would say you're probably best suited for fall and winter time wear with this one anytime you want, right? Casual settings, dressed up, dressed down, hanging out in the house, not really feeling like doing anything. Maybe there's 2 feet of snow outside of your house, so you can't really do anything. Whatever the case is, I just wanted to paint you guys a picture, but you're all smart people. You know what the deal is. Wear when you want, how you want to. But B683 from Marc-Antoine Barrois is definitely a great fragrance, one that you for sure should check out, especially, again, if you're into woody, very spicy scents with a bit of leather in there. Great one here, guys. B683 from Marc-Antoine Barrois. The second to last fragrance on this list comes from Roja Parfum, and this is Apex Eau de Parfum. Not to be confused with the Parfum that I actually prefer to the Eau de Parfum, but I chose to go with the Eau de Parfum because it's a little bit more winter-esque, not as bright, not as, full greenery as the Parfum. This I find to be more smoky, darker green. Light is what I see, like darker green colors, not light, darker green colors, what I see with the Eau de Parfum. This one is going to harken back to like 70s, 80s, powerhouse, classics of yesteryear, if you will. That's what, or how Apex speaks to me. Very much a classic gentlemanly style fragrance. So here we're going to have for balsam, sandalwood, frankincense, leather. You also have a bit of pineapple and mandarin as well. So it is fruity when the fragrance opens up, but then it dries down to this leathery tobacco, ashy fragrance with some woody undertones also in the mix here. A beautiful, stunning scent. I absolutely love this one. This is great for nights out. It's great for office wear. Definitely dressed up though. I would not dress this one down. Like t-shirt and jeans would make absolutely no sense. It's your fragrance. Wear it when you want, how you want. It's just my recommendation is just class up your wardrobe a bit. Spray this one on. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. A classy, sophisticated, dark green, smoky type scent. Apex from Roja Parfum. Last but not least, going to the house of Xerjoff with Richwood. Richwood here, part of the 1717 Stone collection. This is a beautiful Chypre fragrance. One of the best, in my opinion. Oh, God. As soon as I put my nose right up to the atomizer, I get the Mysore sandalwood, I get the patchouli, I get a little bit of rose. Man, I love that contrast of the rose, the way that it works with the patchouli and the sandalwood. Just beautiful. Beautiful perfumery here at its finest. I love this. I believe this was a Chris Maurice creation. I may be wrong, but I believe it's a Chris Maurice creation here. And it gets... The interesting thing is when the scent dries down, it becomes a bit creamy and powdery with vanilla, maybe a little bit of tonka in here, presumably some amber. Oh, my God, guys, this is a masterpiece. Stunning Chypre. I'm a big fan of Chypres, as I mentioned, earlier on in today's video and in the past as well. This is one of my favorites. With this one here, wears very thick, heavy and dense on the skin, which is why it's here on a winter list. So it's like fall, winter appropriate here for me at least. And this is one that I only wear dressed up, but you could dress this one down just as well. It would work. It would work for many different situations and in circumstances, whether you're going out to a fine dinner, to the office, a date, but just when you're hanging out around the house, you want something beautiful and exquisite to wear, you could reach for Richwood. Wow, Richwood by Xerjoff. It is a fantastic fragrance, guys. So again, if you're into Chypre style fragrances, this is a must try. And if you're not into Chypre style fragrances, this would be a good start to your Chypre journey right here, as I think it is a great reference point for Chypre fragrances. And yeah, guys, it's just one of my very favorites here. Again, Richwood from Xerjoff. All right, guys, those are my 10 forgotten gems. Hidden gems, if you will. Well, they're not really hidden. They're more forgotten. People just forgot about them. You know what I mean? They were talked about here and there, and then people were like, yeah, shiny new toy. Distraction. So that's what I'm here for. To help you rediscover what used to be discoverable. I don't know where I was going with that. When I start rambling, that means it's time to go. So we're going to end it on this note right here. Until I see you again, take care of yourselves and each other. And always remember, spray your fragrances appropriately. I will see you guys very soon in another video. Take care. I love you guys. Peace.